Hi, I'm Kim Thompson-Pinder, the Knitting Machine Maverick. Today I'll show you how to make this simple double-layered poncho, perfect for fall, winter, and spring. You can customize the sleeve length and size, making it a great addition to your wardrobe. If you'd like to support my work, purchase a downloadable pattern with detailed instructional videos at circularmachineknitting.com/patterns. What you will need for this project: a 46 or 48 needle circular knitting machine, yarn that works well with your machine. The Lion Brand Pound of Love is used in this demo. You can also try out the Lion Brand Heartland, the Karen Latte Cakes, the Loops and Threads Impeccable. If you want some fancier yarns, you can try out the Loops and Threads Luxe Merino, or even the Rayon Chenille 1300 by Silk City Fibers. I suggest you check them out if you want to make higher quality projects for yourself or sell more expensive products with bigger margins. You'll need scissors, a darning needle, a crochet hook sized for the yarn, waste yarn, and a small scale. Plus, if you're doing the optional hand-knitted ribbing, you're going to need a long circular knitting needle sized for the yarn. Step number 1, determine your gauge and measurements. Since gauge varies by machine, yarn, and tension, we need to figure out our row count before starting. Since it's never exactly the same twice in a row, this is always an estimate. Knit a 20-inch test swatch with your yarn. Stretch it out, let it relax for 10 to 20 minutes, then count how many stitches fits in 10 inches. Divide by 10 for your rows per inch. Measure your poncho width. Start from one knuckle, go across the arm, the back, and the other arm to the same point. Multiply this by your rows per inch to get your total row count. For example, if you need 60 inches in length and your gauge is 5 rows per inch, you'll knit 300 rows per tube. Step number 2 is calculate the amount of yarn to buy. Weigh your test swatch and divide by 20 to get the weight per inch. Multiply this by your poncho length, then by 6 tubes to determine total yarn weight. Add extra for sewing and ribbing. Always buy extra to avoid running out mid-project. You can always use leftover yarns to make items to donate to charity. The demo project is approximately 60 inches wide, 22 inches long, and took 3 balls of the Pound of Love yarn in denim to complete, with 1-inch row of knit 1 purl 1 ribbing at the top. Step number 3 is knit the tubes. We'll knit 6 identical tubes that will be joined to form the poncho. 1. Cast on with waste yarn and knit 7 rows. This makes closing the tubes easier. 2. Switch the main yarn, leaving a 5 to 6 inch tail, and crank the number of rows you calculated. 3. Finish with 7 rows of waste yarn, then remove the project. 4. Repeat this process 5 more times to make all 6 tubes. Step number 4, close the tube ends. If you joined yarn mid-tube, tie the end securely inside before turning right side out. Using stitch markers, mark the first and last stitch on one tube end. Close the tube using the slip stitch method, starting on the 24th stitch if you use an Addi machine, or the 25th stitch if you used a Sentro. Slip the stitches over each other, starting from the stitch on the left and then the right. Continue back and forth until the last 2 stitches. Remove the stitch holders as you do each stitch before slipping over the stitch. Once done, pull the yarn through to secure and cinch tightly. Remove the waste yarn carefully. One side will unravel easily, while the other may require loosening the stitches. Do this for all tube ends. If you have never done this before, then make sure to purchase the pattern so that you get the detailed instructional video which will show you how to do all of these steps. Step number 5, assemble the poncho. Put 2 tubes together, aligning them evenly, and use stitch holders every 15 to 20 stitches to ensure a straight row. Use a mattress stitch to join them, pulling the yarn tight every few inches. Add the third tube in the same manner to create the front panel. Repeat for the other 3 tubes to create the back panel. Add the optional ribbon. For a polished look, pick up and knit stitches along the long edge of each panel with a long circular knitting needle, and then do a knit 1 purl 1 ribbing until you reach the desired length. You can do either the top or the bottom or both. If you want to make the poncho longer, do 3 inches on each side. Match or stitch the 2 panels together at the shoulders. If you added ribbing, stitch using the overstitch, leaving a head hole in the center of 10 to 13 inches for either a snug or draped neckline, and the 2 thumb holes of 2 to 3 inches on either side if desired. Step number 6, sew the sides. Measure 6 inches down from the top and stitch the sides closed, leaving arm openings. Weave in the ends and your poncho is complete. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like this video so YouTube knows to show you more of them. You can also support the channel by purchasing the printable pattern at circularmachineknitting.com/patterns. The next video you should check out is